Hi everybody, welcome to the February 2020 Pick a Card reading. This is just to see what's coming up for you in February. It is Valentine's month, of course, so there might be something in there romantically related, but it's just a general look at what is coming through picking a card. So use your intuition to see which deck you're guided to. This is deck 1, 2, 3, and 4. And whichever one that you feel most drawn to, either you're getting a number in your head or you're looking at them and thinking, that's the one that I need to hear. Just trust your intuition that you will pick the right one. It is better to just pick one group rather than two. But obviously what you do is whatever you want to do. So let's start with group 1. And we'll see what's coming for you, group 1, in February. So first of all, the oracle card is the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. So already I'm sensing that there could be a little bit of resistance to a recent change, something in your life, or just feeling pressure in some kind of area. The first 3 cards are the Page of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. So I am sensing that at the minute, or leading into February, you're feeling some kind of anxiety or struggle surrounding something. And I think for a lot of you, it is money. It could be to do with a child. It could be to do with finances or work. You just seem to feel as though you want to give up on your hopes and aspirations for something because you feel a little bit like an amateur. You feel a little bit like you're not quite good enough. The 9 of Swords is very much speaking to anxiety. So I feel as though something just hasn't quite gone in your favor, and it's making you feel a lack mentality. And the ever unfolding rose is saying that it's happening for you, not to you. So there's this sense with these cards that something that seems like it's not going the way that you want it to right now is actually going in your favor. And now in the other deck we have the 9 of Pentacles. So we have 999. That is an angel number, and it is a sign of completion in some area. So we have the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and the Empress. So for a lot of you, I feel like you could be going from single into a relationship or dating somebody new in February. Very strong vibes of dating somebody new. You could be yourself because the Hermit is Virgo. There could be Virgo energy in your life, especially with the Page of Pentacles. Taurus and Capricorn are also highlighted here under the water signs Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But it doesn't have to be. With the Page going to the Knight, I feel as though something that looks or a circumstance that looks less than exciting right now is actually going to bring you some pretty good news. And I feel as though with the 9 of Pentacles, particularly as we have a progression of 9s, the 9 of Pentacles I think is a beautiful, because there's peacock energy here twice. It's all about being admired and being recognized. I feel in February that you realize that people think a lot more highly of you than you realize. There's a need here not to isolate yourself with the Hermit. You seem to be doing a lot of reflection, but I wonder how much of it is productive, how much of it is actually getting to the core of who you are, because somebody seems to be coming in, or there seems to be somebody in your life, whether you're male or female, that views you as an empress, that views you as beautiful and amazing and just the Empress energy is just gorgeous energy. Somebody that thinks very highly of you. I do think for a lot of you this is love, or for some of you it is news of a pregnancy. So if that's not what you want, be very, very careful. The animal spirit card is the Fire Ant. And your chakra cards are guilt, impartiality, and confusion. So there's a fair bit of Libra vibes going on here with this balancing act here. But I do feel that a lot of you are coming out of a period of confusion, and possibly there is something in your life that you either feel guilty of or you feel like somebody else should feel guilty. The 9 of Swords is very anxious, and you need an objective opinion from somebody in your life who is impartial. It could be an earth sign who gives you some very good advice in February. But I feel as though for you, Group 1, things are really, really looking up for you in February. I think you start to feel a lot more attractive. It's like a glow up energy. You feel a lot more attractive, a lot more empowered. And I feel like you have at least some kind of love option in your life. There seems to be an offer of love for those in Group 1. Now, one thing I will say with the fire ant energy and guilt and confusion and impartiality is, you know, the dark side of the Empress. Make sure you're not engaging in dark yin energy. And dark yin energy is when you're gossiping about other people, because with the Hermit, I feel as though you may be taking out insecurities on somebody else, or somebody else may be taking their insecurities out on you, but there's a need here to be impartial and see things objectively, because there's beautiful energy coming in here. But with the Nine of Pentacles, you have to sit in your power. For a lot of you, it looks like a makeover or working in beauty or getting to know yourself better. But I also feel that you will have a lot of social activities to go to, a lot of social invitations. But with the Hermit here and the Fire Ant, be wary of burning out. Do spend time by yourself. I think a lot of you could be quite empathic or absorb other people's energy. So do make sure that you spend some time by yourself. But I do see for a lot of you in Group 1 that things are working out a lot better than you think they are. I feel like you're in a period of confusion, of guilt, of sadness, of anxiety, and something happens in February that really resets things. I think for a lot of you, it's coming out of a period of isolation and really sitting in your Empress energy, feeling very powerful. You need to make sure going into February that you stop stewing over this thing that hasn't gone right, this thing that's annoyed you or frustrated you, and you focus your energies on being confident, being self-love, self-care, and it seems to attract in a lot of excitement for you. So that's all I have for you, Group 1. Thank you for listening. Okay, Group 2. So let's see what we've got for you here. We have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Oh, very exciting. We have Judgment, we have Justice, and we have the Chariot. So already for you guys, I'm sort of getting this impression that maybe some of you are working in law, or you're in some way involved in a case. Maybe you could be involved in a legal dispute. If you are in a legal dispute, just know that the fairest outcome is going to happen. And I think particularly if it is to do with a car, I think a lot of you have something going on with your car. Just know that it's going to be resolved and you're going to feel a lot better about it in February. Now, if you have nothing legal going on, I feel as though you could be directly dealing with a Scorpio, a Libra, or a Cancer. There feels to me to be some kind of karmic cycle in your life that is wrapping up in some way. I think that there is something in your life that is not quite over. Possibly something that made you feel very disappointed at one point, and you're kind of having to get over that in some way. And I think in February you feel that energy, because we also have the Five of Cups, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Three of Wands. So I'm also sensing for you that there is some kind of situation where it didn't quite work out the way you wanted it to get resolved in February, or you get some kind of clarity there. With the Five of Cups, if something happened that made you feel heartbroken or disappointed, it's that crying over spilt milk kind of energy. I think you see some kind of karma. If someone wronged you, I think you see some kind of karma. And as much as I am a Scorpio and we're known as being vengeful and stuff, just bear in mind that never take any kind of action into your own hands. Karma will get who it needs to get to. You don't have to do anything. With Judgment and Justice, it's very, very likely that what happens will be fair. And with the Chariot, I feel like there's this success this successful feeling with you, as if you're finally on the right road, you're finally on the right track. Because birthing a new age, it's very much to do with renewal, especially with Judgment there, dreaming a new world into being. And I feel as well with the Hierophant, because we have so much major arcana, I feel like February could actually be a big turning point for you with the Three of Wands and the Hierophant, where you're committed to this new journey and committed to something more solid in your life. The thing about the Five of Cups is that despite there being 3 spilled in the ground, there are still 2 that remain. And the Two of Cups in tarot is all about love and partnership and acceptance and reciprocity. And with the Hierophant, I can't help but feel that whatever it is that disappointed you is going to resolve itself in a way that feels solid. So whether that means a renewal of a relationship, whether it means airing your grievances with somebody and finding resolution, or whether it means committing to a new part of the journey, the Three of Wands makes me feel like it's going to be very exciting, but it's going to be stable. You're beginning a new phase in February that is going to stand you in good stead for years to come, which is wonderful. With Wisdom dissipating and recovery, I feel as though whatever situation is at the forefront of your mind that you're recovering from, you've gotten a lot of lessons out of this. Wisdom and the Hierophant are big, big energies. And I think for a lot of you, you're coming out of a karmic cycle where there were repetitive motions and you're finally ready for something new. You're finally ready to step into your power and understand that you needed to learn a lesson of some kind. And your spirit animal card is the starfish. Now, the starfish is all about, it's beautiful energy. It's very attractive, the starfish is known. It is water energy, so you could be a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But the thing about the starfish is that it can be shallow and superficial. And Judgment is not an energy, or justice really, that deals well with superficiality. If you feel like you're in any way reliant on how you look, or you're blaming your looks or your bank balance, or you're picking shallow options, the cards are asking you to do something and, call out an end to this behavior. How much are you swayed by the outward appearances? I do think for a lot of you, you're really maturing in terms of decision making in February. And I also feel that you need to surround yourself with very positive people in February. People that inspire you, people that are older than you, I think are a big part of February. For dating, I think for some of you as well, you could actually be with Justice and the Hierophant getting married or getting engaged or meeting the person you're meant to marry in February. There's very strong, solid energy here. And I think it is because you've learned to differentiate between what is superficial and what is not. You've become very wise. And February is going to show you just how wise you have become and how your lessons are going to change your course of destiny. There's a big essence here of destiny. And I think the Three of Wands is you just waiting for your ships to come in and begin the next part of your adventure. There is great success here, but you may not be able to see it manifest physically just yet. But you are changing your life as you know it in February after that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. I think you are wiser and stronger, and you know the difference now between the choices that you make. So that is all I have for you, Group 2. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, Group 3. Let's see what we have for you in February 2020. Dance with Life. I love that card. Now, a lot of cards popped out for you, so bear with me. The Magician. The Empress. That Empress also came out in the other deck for, I think it was Group 1. 8 of Swords, Page of Swords, and the 8 of Wands. We also have the Emperor, the Ace of Cups, and the 2 of Wands. So you got a little bit more in the tarot region because all these cards came out as a story, and I thought it was quite important, particularly as we have this Dance with Life card. Do something to change your energy. With the Magician and the Empress, I feel that a lot of you in February could be you could be Geminis or Virgos. Taurus and Libra is here and is Aries, but we also have the air signs Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I feel with the Magician and the Empress, you're really focusing on your own personal magic, your own personal self-care, your own personal routine, what it is that you want from life. I feel like you're working more on your appearance, you're taking better care of your body, and you're also learning that you need to be more careful, Group 3, with what it is that you are telling yourself, what narrative that you are saying to yourself, because the Eight of Swords and the Page of Swords speaks of feeling very enslaved by your own words. But with the Eight of Wands, it's all about positive communication. And I feel as though in February, you are starting to see the power in your own magic. And I think a lot of you are really getting into the law of attraction, the law of the universe, thinking positively and seeing positive results. I'm also seeing with the Eight of Wands that some of you in February may be planning a trip. And I think it is a trip that could be quite significant. It might be a work trip that has unexpected good news from it. And you might be meeting connections with other people. For a lot of you, you're possibly traveling for university or something like that. But I do feel that in February, there is some kind of message comes into you that makes you feel pretty good. I think with the Magician and the Empress, you feel really, really in your power. It's as if you're being, because the Empress speaks to having many admirers, being pursued. And I feel as well, with the Empress and the Emperor in the same reading, I think a lot of you are meeting or making official with the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands, a love romantic relationship that's very compatible. I also see that if you are dealing with your parents in some way, I feel like there is a breakthrough in communication to do with your parents or some clarity on a long-standing issue, but that's possibly only for a select few of you. But I do feel a lot of you could be going into a relationship. With the Emperor, it could be somebody older, but with the Page of Swords, I wouldn't take ages to mean too much. Now, your animal spirit card is the eagle. Love the eagle. So that's air energy, but that's also Scorpio energy, because Scorpio is represented by the eagle as well as the scorpion and the spider and the phoenix. So a lot of variations there. But this is all about transforming your karma, about being spiritually and physically strong. So as I said, a lot of you are working on your bodies. A lot of you are really working on your mind, and you're going through a transformation of self in February. It's like you're feeling really radiant. And that radiance that you achieve in February can't help but attract in a lot of messages, a lot of positive vibrations, a lot of positive energies. And I do see for a lot of you, there is a new relationship if you're single. The Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands feels like an emotional compatibility that leads to a partnership. And with the Empress and the Emperor in the same reading, I feel that a lot of you could be finding love in February. Miracle and acceptance. So I feel as though there is a strong essence in February of self-love and self-acceptance with this Ace of Cups, the Empress, and the acceptance card. And I feel that you are, as you accept yourself, Group 3, becoming a miracle in itself. You're like a walking miracle. You're attracting more good things. And with the Dance with Life card, focus your energy in February on having more fun. Get out of your own head, because I think, Group 3, you're a person that can really overthink. And I think you can overanalyze other people's behavior. And with the Page of Swords, I think there is possibly someone around you who cuts you down when you're feeling good. And it's sort of asking you to distance yourself from that. There could be at some point in February some negative feedback, but you're being encouraged to just let that slide and really stay in a positive mindset and see how quickly things turn around if you stay positive and feel very self-accepting. It's as though you have an old narrative of I can't, I shouldn't, I won't, or I have to. Very negative self-talk, I think, group 3. And you're really finding in February that the more you speak to yourself in a way that's kind, the more radiant you are and the more radiant you feel. And with Miracle, I feel as though something that you've really, really wanted, particularly with the Magician, I feel like something you really, really have wanted for a long time is finally happening just as you're really enjoying your life. As soon as you decide to change up the game, change your energy, focus on yourself, have more fun, it's like everything starts to click. And this is actually quite similar to group 1's in some ways, but I feel that whoever you get together with in February, if you're single, I feel like they're not like you. It's like they're compatible, but in an opposites attract kind of way. You're either the Emperor, where you're very stern but strong and stable, but you don't give much away emotionally, with a really wicked sense of humor, or you are the Empress, who is very nurturing, very caring, very sweet, very soft, very sentimental. There's kind of a balancing act going on here. But I feel, though, that despite having a different way of expressing the emotions, the person that you date in February, or your partner, there is an understanding emotionally. And not to forget that in February, Mercury does go retrograde, and with the 8 of Wands and the Page of Swords, I think if you have an ex that is an air sign, a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, they might send you a message, or you might send a message to them if you are the air sign. I feel like there's a communication comes in here from somebody who at one point made you feel very anxious. And obviously with Mercury being retrograde, just be careful of that energy. Just be careful of letting somebody back in, because there may be somebody more emotionally compatible coming up for you in February. I do feel for a lot of you that if you want to be single, I don't know that you're going to, because I think you have more options, or there's a chance that you will meet somebody very, very alluring in February. So that is all I have for you, group 3. I like this one the best. This was my favorite deck. So I hope you have a really wonderful February. And finally, group 4. So we have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Okay, so the High Priestess, Queen of Swords, and the Tower. So I feel for group 4 that you've possibly recently or are currently going through a bit of a rocky time. With the initiation and the rite of passage, it's that you're moving through a period of darkness and destruction of some kind into something new. So I feel very strongly that your intuition was telling you something about a certain person, or you found out something about a certain person that has really made you shut down emotionally. The Queen of Swords is all about, she takes no crap, basically. She's very, very strong. She's very stern. She will cut you out. She's kind of like that Cardi B, don't get comfortable. Cardi B is such a Queen of Swords. And with the Tower here, I feel as though somebody was possibly building a false foundation. There has been some recent disappointment that has made you feel really shut down and a little bit disappointed, possibly in either not listening to your intuition or not seeing something for what it was. And I think February, with the Pisces energy of the High Priestess, I think towards the end of February, you start to see some kind of healing with this. The 7 of Cups, I feel very much like you don't quite know, or you don't quite trust that you're not building castles in the sky, or your intuition is worried about something or someone. 10 of Wands, 2 of Cups, Queen of Swords again, the Hanged Man, oh, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. Let's see. So this is looking very romantic. I think for a lot of you, you could for sure be Pisces, but I think really what's resonating here are the air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So you could have been dealing with one of them. or you could be one yourself. But the Queen of Swords is telling me that you really are tired of other people's crap, and you're really tired of the way that you've been feeling or the way that you feel right now. Something is just off in your emotional life, and you're either trying to be way too rational or way too spiritual. It's like you're trying to find balance between the two, and you're wearing yourself out. And it's only because you want to protect yourself from more tower moments. With the Tower and the Seven Cups, it is really about building castles in the sky and then wondering why you didn't listen to your intuition, or see the red flags, or see that you were putting in all the effort, or see that this wasn't what it seemed to be. And I just think a lot of you are actually naturally quite sensitive and have just shut down. Or you're feeling like it's one criticism after another. And you can't build yourself back up when you're surrounded by such critical people. I think for a lot of you, you're dealing with heavy emotional or mental burdens at the minute that are just feeling like they're too much to carry. And I think for a lot of you, you do want love and you do want a bit of support, but you feel like you've waited for this for a long time. And this is telling you that regardless of what your situation is, Group 4, the only way to see things, well, the only way to have a different reality is to see things differently and practice self-love and self-acceptance. Because with the Hanging Man and the Ace of Cups, he is in a position where everything is upside down, but he still has that choice. It's still voluntary. And with the Ace of Cups, there is emotional fulfillment, or possibly, so much emotion that the cup fills over, be it with negative or positive. But that's kind of your choice. I do feel that as a group, you are somebody who sticks things through to the end, particularly in romance. I feel like you take a lot of crap, or you feel like things are really off kilter with whoever it is that you're dealing with. But balance, joy, and self-worth. Okay. So I feel as though for you, you really need to tap in February on that self-worth, that self-love, and have more fun. Do things that make you feel joyful. Do things that make you feel excited. What is the Ace of Cups feeling for you whenever you feel excited? What is it that makes you feel excited? Because I worry with the Queen of Swords Group 4 that you are shutting down a little bit, or you're just trying to switch off your emotions and you don't quite know how to get them back, or you're just too scared of something going wrong again. But this is coming from a position of lack. This is coming from a position where you feel as though maybe because this didn't work out, I don't deserve this. Maybe I don't deserve the thing that I want to. But what's beautiful about the initiation is that you are coming through to the other side. The color lies in going through this altar type. Well, it's an altar. It's sort of an alcove. I'm not really sure. What is that called? Crossing the threshold. It's going through to the other side. Whatever it is that's disappointed you, you learned something intuitively. You learned that your intuition does pick up on red flags, and you know going forward that you will be a bit more discerning. With balance here, you could for sure be dealing with a Libra. With the joy, the sunflowers reminds me of Leo's energy as well. But I think with the balancing card, you just need to make sure that when you go into a new relationship, or you're dating, or in your current relationship, there's equal give and take. Balance is key here. And I do think as well, with the Two of Cups and the Ace of Cups both being here, I think a lot of you could be finding, February is with Venus being in Pisces until the 7th, and then Pisces energy in general coming through. There's a lot of emphasis on love for people. And I think for you guys, what it is, if you want to manifest it in your life, or what it is that you want to see, or in your relationships, is to have a different perspective on what it is that you want in this relationship, and what it takes to make you feel happy, and what it takes to make you feel balanced. And possibly for some of you, you're so shut down because you just don't feel good enough. And then we have the firefly as your spirit animal. And I just love the firefly, but it can mean that sometimes you have a tendency, or you're attracting people that burn really bright and then fizzle out. It's like a fleeting feeling. But I also see that there's something happens in February that if you are feeling cut off, you might miss. And it says that there's firefly energy behind every poem, every song, every invention. And I think you guys could be really creative, and you need to spark more of what makes your soul set alight. And that is how you have this Ace of Cups. That is how you have more love and joy in your life, is to do the things that make you feel good. Because with balance as well, and the Ten of Wands and the Tower, I feel as though you need more of what makes you really happy rather than just work, work, work. You might throw yourself into work to get through a tough time, particularly with the Queen of Swords. She's very analytical, very rational. But you need to have more fun. You need to devote your February to being more creative, doing the passions, painting, dancing, whatever it is that you love to do, to get you through this Tower energy or this rebuilding that you need to do of self. And with the Two of Cups and the Ten of Wands, just make sure that your relationships are balanced. Because as soon as you change your perspective, the Ace of Cups brings a new emotional opportunity. And I think if you're still stuck in this Tower moment, you might miss it. And it could be with a Pisces. It could be the love that you've waited for, or it could be things turning around in your relationship. But you won't know until you're taking care of you and until you're feeling very joyous and exciting. Very excited about life. You don't want to miss this firefly energy. It's so fleeting. You just have to catch it when it happens for you. And I think for a lot of you with the Tower, you're in a process of rebuilding and you think, maybe this can't happen for me. But the only way to build yourself back up, Group 4, is to stay focused on the things that make you feel love. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for joining me on this Pick a Card reading, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.